Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head up to Gothenburg once again here in Sweden, or Göteborg as you would say in Swedish, which as I've told you many a time is a really good beer city these days. So we're going to return to OO Brewing, and if you're interested in Stigbergets beers, this is another company you want to check out because this is the Stigbergets Brewers' own business. So for this one we're having a taste of the OO Brewing Muscles, which is a double IPA. This guy comes in at 8.2%. and it should be really quite nice. It's got a rating of 99 overall on Rate Beer and 96 within the style, so it should be really good. The other beers I've had from OO Brewing have been pretty damn awesome actually, and of course you've got the Stigbergets beers that are good as well. The Amazing Haze, the GBG Beer Week, and there's more of these IPAs to come. So if you get the chance to try either OO or Stigbergets beers, they're a very good place to start when it comes to Gothenburg beer scene. There's a lot of other really good breweries up there these days as well, like Beer Bibliotek, Bearded Rabbit, and all of these sorts of things. So if you come to Sweden and you're interested in craft beer, Gothenburg is the place to start. So anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other OO Brewing beer reviews that I've done before. No doubt I'll add more in the near future. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city, state, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the Swedish beers that I've reviewed for you, and that's constantly being added to. And as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries you guys would like to see me review, especially some of the Swedish breweries that I might not have heard of, because I know there is loads of them these days. But please do get in touch, and it's always great to hear from you guys. The support that you guys give the channel is always hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about OO Brewing then. So as I mentioned to you, these guys are based in Gothenburg, or Göteborg as you would say in Swedish, here in Sweden, and they were founded back in 2011 by Olaf and Ola Andersson, who were actually childhood friends, but for many years they were also avid homebrewers, and obviously they've turned professional. So the pair had always been really interested in beers and brewing and all of this sort of thing, but Ola apparently had been heavily involved in the Gothenburg beer scene since pre-drinking age, and he is actually also the brewer at Stigbergets Brewery, and this is where the OO beers are produced, of course. But while Ola is brewing, Olaf actually manages the business side of the company, and apparently the whole idea behind their company is just to brew beers that they would like to drink themselves. And of course in recent times they really have become famous for these sort of northeast American style IPAs, or New England style IPAs, these big juice bomb things. Of course there's been the Stigbergets GBG Beer Week, the Amazing Haze, there is the Narangi from OO as well, there's the Evergreen, which is the slightly lighter one, and of course there's this one too. So if you get the chance to try any of these beers and you love the things like Trillium and all of these sorts of breweries in the northeast of America, this is probably where you want to go to when it comes to Sweden. Also Brewski have been getting in this game as well. They just released their Conan double IPA recently, which was kind of similar. It was one of these New England style IPAs too. So these New England style IPAs are really starting to take off here in Sweden, and you've got two very good breweries here that you can go and have a look at. So yeah, that's enough about the brewery just now. Let's actually get on to the tasting of this beer itself. So on the side it says a potent imperial IPA brewed with the finest hops around, muscular, childish, likeable, unfiltered and unpasteurised, best stored cold and dark, Starkill 8.2%, and just tells you a little bit about the ingredients too. And I'll just let you have a little quick look at the artwork of this one. And if I can find my cursor, there we are. There you are. There you can see it's the outline of a man's body, of course, with a kind of, I don't know if it's like an electron microscope or some, it's meant to be an electron microscope, but just a kind of sort of artistic thing based on the sort of image you would get from that. But really quite nice looking beer, this one. It says on the side here, double IPA, Muscles, and it tells you within the you can see the hiragana there as well. It says AA Brewing instead of OO Brewing. I pointed that out in the last video, of course, as well. But artwork by Sweetboy2016 and by Anna Benoroya, monotype on paper as well. So yeah, Muscles, plain bottle cap on this one, of course. So without further ado, I guess we shall get this guy open. It should be really quite nice. So yeah, nice smoky opening, and we'll get this guy out and into the glass. You can smell the nice fruity character of this one. There's a lot of kind of orangey or tangerine notes coming out of this beer actually. And that was the same. The Narangi, of course, did have quite a lot of orangey character to it as well. But as you can see, this beer's porter really nice. It's actually quite a deep orangey amber colour. If I hold it a bit further away, I think you can see it better. When I bring it closer to the camera, of course, it does look a little bit more yellow. But a really quite nice looking beer, this one. If I put my fingers behind the glass, you can see it is pretty much completely opaque. There's not much in the way of light getting through that one at all, but it's got some big bubbles of carbonation sticking towards the side of the glass and quite a few little ones just going up towards the bottom of the head there. You can see that head, it's just a very thin foamy layer, but it is pretty much pure white, but there's a lot of stuff going on in this one. But really, the main note I'm picking up just from moving the beer around is tangerines and oranges. So let's take a closer look at the aroma and see how we get on. Oh, that's quite interesting. This one's a lot more malty actually than some of the other double IPAs I've come across from OO and Stigbergets, of course. You can smell there's a good bit of a caramelly sort of biscuity thing going on in this one. That does smell nice. But yeah, caramel and biscuits, some sort of bready character in there as well, the bready sort of pale malts. This one may of course be more of a West Coast double IPA, but I mean you can talk about styles all day. The main thing is that it's whether it's a good beer or not, and I'm pretty sure when it's OO and Stigbergets or whatever, out of these two breweries it's going to be a very, very good one. But yeah, I love the malty character this one has. It's just interesting because you're used to these beers being big, hoppy juice bombs, and this one just comes across as a bit more malty. So just take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of this before you get stuck in. But on the fruity side of things, it's definitely more, there's a good bit of oranges in there, which makes me think there's some Amarillo or some Mosaic in there. Of course, the Mosaic gives you the more tangerine notes, the Amarillo is the straight up orange generally. But you can smell some of these nice, juicy tropical notes too. There's a good bit of mango in there, a little bit of pineapple or something. Maybe sort of peaches and apricots. There is quite a bit of apricot, I think. It's got that nice kind of light, almost smooth fruit character that you expect of apricot, and that actually mixes quite well with the more malty aspect to the nose on this one. So this is quite an interesting smelling beer. This it is quite different to the others that I've had from OO Brewing. But yeah, just enjoy the aroma of this one. For me, it's just got a really attractive, nice, sweet malty quality to it. As you'll know if you've watched my channel before, the double IPAs and IPAs, they really hit the spot for me when they've got a good bit of caramel sweetness in them and when that balances well with the hoppy notes. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one, but just enjoy the aroma before you get stuck in. As I always say, that's half the experience when it comes to craft beer, but some juicy oranges and a nice little bit of apricot for me coming out this too, some mango definitely, pineapple, and that sort of thing. So yeah, without further ado, let's get stuck into this beer. So this one is the Muscles Double IPA from OO Brewing up in Göteborg or Gothenburg here in Sweden. Skål! Oh yeah, that's nice. That is a damn good beer. It's definitely a lot more malty than the other ones you're going to get from Stigbergets and from OO. Yeah, that is damn good. It's definitely not a New England style double IPA. No way. This is more of a West Coast one. Not that it would matter, of course, because it's always the flavour that's the most important thing. But for me, that is really nice. I really like this one. It just has that nice malty balance with the hoppy side of things, and that's exactly what I like. So as I always say with the beers, just sugar them around on your palate a little bit before you get stuck into them. But this, or before you examine the flavour properly, I should say. But this is lovely. So in the middle of your palate, you've got a nice kind of pale malt character just underpinning the beer. There's a little bit of thicker breadiness to it, and then on top of that you get a little bit of sweet biscuit character, but then it's actually a kind of fairly rich caramel that's coming out of this one. There's not really toasted character to this, it's more of a sweet caramel. Oh yeah, it's really nice actually. yeah, just enjoy this beer. It really is. It's very easy drinking. It's got a little bit more alcohol warmth than the other ones I've had from OO before. But I do like just how the flavours blend together in this one. It really is well done. So, on the hoppy side of things, it's mainly floral for me actually. I'm getting quite a bit of floral character from this. Maybe in the back corners there's a teeny little bit of earthiness, but mainly on the sides of your palate it's a nice kind of floral note that's coming out. There's maybe a little bit of a herbal character in there as well, but mainly floral. As you go around the front curve of your palate as well, there's a nice light kind of grassy character to the beer. There's a little bit of an almost spicy character to that floral note as well. But then it starts, I'm finding this beer, it starts to become just a little bit more sweet as the flavour progresses. The caramels linger in there of course, but there's a little bit of sweetness coming out of the hops as well, which is quite interesting. As I say though, it's a slightly spicy floral character, and as the flavour progresses you can just feel the sides of your palate getting a little bit more dry, but the grassiness at the front of the palate, that stays fairly smooth, and then it just dries out and becomes a little bit more floral as the flavour progresses. But make no mistake about this one, this is another damn good beer from OO Brewing, and it's interesting to see how they've done the kind of West Coast style beer rather than the East Coast one. But yeah, that's good. Fruity character on this beer is really nice. If you just go behind the front curve of your palate, you'll get that little oily bubble where the nice fruity esters come out of the beer. And for me, this one's definitely oranges. It's got, I do think there's mosaic hop in here. I can't be certain about that, but I'm pretty sure there is some mosaic hop in here, because it's got a little bit of that nice, maybe Amarillo type orange in it, and then you can feel the slightly lighter, maybe even sharper tangerines in there coming out. But when you move beyond that, there's a little bit of these lighter tropical flavours as well. Maybe I'm getting apricot from this again. Apricot is sticking out for me on this. Sorry about that guys, little issue with the camera there, but as I was saying, I really love it when you get a good balance between the caramel malts and the nice fruity characters. The oranges in this one for me, the tangerines, they really blend together well with this malt base. A little bit of apricot, not quite sure about pineapple, but some lychees and some kind of other things going on in this beer as well. But it's really good. If you get the chance to try this one, have a go at it. In terms of the mouthfeel of this beer then, I would say this is mid-bodied. The carbonation is quite light on this one. It's quite a smooth tasting beer. There's a little bit more oily character in this one than you would normally expect of an OO beer. But it works. It brings out the more caramelly notes in the beer, and also some of the orange flavours and apricot flavours as well. It really is really nice. And you've got a little bit of bitterness from the hops, a lot of sweetness in the malt base as well, and the fruits of course are quite juicy. But like I said, overall, in terms of the rating it has on Rate Beer, 99. For me, it does hit that regard. It's not going to blow you away in terms of the IBUs or anything like that, but it's got a very good balance between malty sweetness and a fruity, juicy character to this one. And there is just a little bit of that kind of hoppy bitterness in there as well that keeps the hop head satisfied. But for me, this is more of a juicy kind of sweet IPA, or double IPA I should say, and that really hits the spot for me. I really enjoy when you have this nice balance between caramel and fruity aspects of the beer. But yeah, another really good beer from OO Brewing, and I wouldn't expect any less from these guys. So yeah, this one was the Muscles Double IPA from OO Brewing up in Göteborg here in Sweden. So as always, if you have tried this beer yourself, please let me know your own thoughts on it in the comment section below. It's always interesting to hear from you guys that are watching the videos. Do let me know what other OO beers you would like me to try, as well as other things from around Sweden of course, and further afield. But thank you again for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Do check out my social media, and I will catch you soon with more beer reviews. The Muscles Double IPA from OO Brewing, in Gothenburg here in Sweden. A really damn good double IPA, so make sure you check it out. Cheers.